and we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
We haven't even mentioned war zones like downtown San Francisco after 7 o'clock where I work, or Hollywood or Los Angeles where I work 2 months of the year. They are war zones. You can't walk outside at night, period. I don't give a damn if it's the Army, the National Guard, the FBI. I couldn't care less, and I can guarantee you 80, 90, 100% of the people there don't care either. They just want to walk outside.
I understand that people do want safety. I mean, there's no question about
safety,
that, right?
You people get beaten to a pulp in broad daylight in LA.
Can Democrats just stop taking the bait when it comes to the crime question? Could they just admit that all the red states with the highest crime rates are all fueled by blue cities, governed by blue Democrats, Democratic mayors? Right? Can they just stop this charade already? Like, I'm getting sick and tired of them defending crime. As you saw from the intro, I believe the lady in the intro was a mayor of Washington. DC Mayor Bowser released data showing crime is down significantly during the federal surge compared to last year. At the same time, in previous 20 days, crime is down significantly in every category compared to 2024. Violent crime is down 45%, carjacking is down 87%, overall 15% down, according to the NBC Washington. Violent crime in DC has dropped 45% over the past 3 weeks. And when we talk about safety, because, you know, safety is a big concern recently, as you saw from the last video I did about the trans shooter that attacked a Catholic school. Safety is at the top of mind of many Americans' mind. And when I ask this question, I can't think of a Democrat that's doing a good job when it comes to the crime question, or telling people or persuading people to feel confident in crime, of their handling in crime. And they wonder why they're losing in the polls. And there's some memes I saw that I want to play out, but I kind of want to wait it on because I don't think I'm going to do a live reaction clip today. But I am going to show you some segments that I think is important for Americans to understand, a lot of people to see around the world, how delusional the Democratic Party are. So the optics game, the Democrats are losing the optics of them being trustworthy to handle crime and to provide safety to their constituency and the American people. And here's a clip of James Raskin, one of the Democratic leaders in the House, and how he tried to say that crime is actually part of our history. Yes, you heard that correctly.
It cuts against the deepest principles of the country. I mean, we were founded in opposition to a standing army, with a fear of a standing army. And the military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement purposes. In D.C., he was talking about cleaning up the graffiti and, you know, dealing with the blight of homelessness, which are obviously local, not federal issues. He's trying to militarize our society, intimidate its political opponents. The whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history, and yet crime is down. In D.C., for example, it's at a 30-year low. It's down in Baltimore, it's down in Chicago. But the point is that in our system of federalism, the different branches of government and the different departments of government are supposed to work together. If Donald Trump thinks he's got some great ideas for Chicago or Miami or Houston, Texas or whatever. He should call a summit for the White House and say, hey, here's some ideas where the feds can work together with states and localities, not have a series of rolling National Guard invasions of people's cities.
Notice he didn't argue outcomes, results, right? No real alternative. He just say, "Oh, bring us to the table." And this whole we can cooperate as long as you do it our way. This is the kind of tone that I perceive whenever Democrats try to pretend like they're not pure blindly partisan against Donald Trump. And he's right about crime being down compared to last year, but people still don't feel safe. That means crime is not down adequately enough for people's sentiment about the situation to change in Baltimore, Chicago, Washington, D.C. But once Trump enacted his policy, hey, where I have power, I'll show you what I can do. And with Brandon Johnson, he's trying to get cooperation. He said, hey, Brandon Johnson, you need some help? I'll send the National Guard for you. And Brandon Johnson is actively resisting him, saying, we don't need this in Chicago, even though the citizens are crying, praying. They're like this for the National Guard to come in for Chicago and help them out in reducing crime over there. So which is it, Democrats? Are you willing to work with Donald Trump or you're not? And this is the mentality that a lot of Democrats have. They have this my way or the highway mentality. James Raskin claims Trump is out of bounds trying to clean up crime because crime has always been part of our history. Crime and American tradition. If Democrats need a consultant on optics, I have some ideas. Bad optics, I agree. And what's wrong with cleaning up the cities, cleaning up the streets? It's almost like Democrats want the mess. And this is what I'm talking about. Democrats rather suffer under their leadership than prosper under Republican leadership. And I think this rings so much true in this next clip of Scott Jennings pretty much
it cuts against
debunking, perfectly taking down CNN's Abby Phillips, because she keeps claiming, this is the funny part about the liberal, right? Because when people break your law, right, you want them to be held accountable. And Abby Phillips kind of let it slip that the Democrats love to protect criminals.
And it's also because the military serves a role to protect Americans, not to be used against Americans.
Exactly. You keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us, raping us, terrorizing our cities? I mean, you're saying like he's creating an actual war against American citizens when what he's actually creating is a war against criminals and, by the way, illegal aliens who they are rounding up by the bucket load in Washington.
I want to let Ellie...
Of course politics is going on here. I mean, you said that they should be asking for federal resources, but that would be an admission that they have lost control of their cities.
That's
so
not losing
Brandon
control.
Johnson,
I mean,
The way
the mayor of D.C. asked for federal resources too. She was trying to.
But Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, said, "I don't want more police," and he even said today, "We don't even want to put people in prison."
But this is what I'm telling you.
I mean,
I'm telling you that Democrats should think about potentially asking for more resources. What I'll say here is that.
I agree with you, but they won't.
But it's also not handing over the entire city to the federal government. What happens is that the mayor and the local law enforcement should be in charge, and they should have the federal law enforcement supplement and provide training as needed. It shouldn't be that the National Guard and federal law enforcement should take over a city that they do not understand, that they do not know, that the community doesn't understand. That just leads to chaos.
I mean, when you heard...
That's all I heard when she was talking. We need to, supplement. We need to let Democrats stay in charge, even though while they're in charge, the top 30 out of the top 30 cities with the highest crime rates, 27 of them are managed by Democratic mayors. But no. Let us decide. Let us dictate. Let us drive the solution. And I'm like, Brandon Johnson's mayor is a mayor with a single-digit approval ratings. If he was doing something right, I think Chicago would give him more than a single-digit approval rating. Democrats, crime now, murder is a human right. Give us back our crime. This is essentially what they're fighting for. We demand justice for gang members deported by Trump. Make that make sense. Lincoln Riley in the grave. But these guys are crying to protect who? Criminals. Trump is sending the National Guard against the American citizen. Yeah, American citizens that commit crime, that's a threat to public safety. Yeah, we're going to round them up, put them in jail, hold them accountable. Why we need to protect criminals? Democrats let the cat out of the bag, right? Because this is what blind resistance to Donald Trump does to you. He said, we need to protect our citizens and make cities safer. Democrats, hands off our criminals, hands off our criminals, keep criminals safe, keep criminals safe. Illegals before residents. This is the Democratic brand. To the point where you can caricature them. You think this is a joke, but in reality, through their actions, through their optics, this is what they're actually doing. Hands off our criminals. You heard Abby Phillips. Abby Phillips admitted it. She admitted it herself. And this is crazy. And people wonder why we call the mainstream media liberal bias. Holy crap. Scott Jennings perfectly take down CNN's Abby Phillips for claiming that President Trump's targeting crime is a war on citizens. It could be or could be true. It could be true, could not be true. There's criminal illegals out there too. You keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us, hurting us? Yeah, those Americans. Because that's what Donald Trump is specifying he's using the thing for. And as long as he's using those things for addressing crime, Americans don't have a problem with it. But Democrats, this is what happened when you have to pull stuff out of your A. Because they have nothing. They have no alternative. They have no different way of doing things. They're ineffective. And James Raskin's doing this whole historical, it's our tradition. Criminality is our tradition. To me, that's like waving the white flag. Waving the white flag because the Democrats got nothing. They're part of the problem. And the way they go about it too, I just think of it like coddling. You just coddling bad behavior. You're incentivizing bad behavior. And this is why none of the criminal justice system in liberal cities always deteriorate into just like a lawless land. Look at San Francisco. They got to kick out their progressive prosecutor, DA, because they weren't prosecuting criminals. And every time Republicans come out, every time conservatives come out and say, Democrats are the party of criminals, Democrats deny it. But liberals on the CNN panel are making excuses why we got to be soft. We have to be measured when we're dealing with criminals. Like they respond to that. Criminals only respect force. And you know how I know this? If you put a house on your sign, if you put a sign in front of your house and says, this house do not have any guns, would you do it? Would you want to put that sign in front of your house? Hell no. Because you know criminals will know for sure that your house is safe for the pickings. Now, if you put another sign, there's guns in this house, is a criminal more inclined to go to the house with the sign that says there's no guns or a house with guns? Because the way the Democrats are framing this, they're framing as if you do a show of force, it's going to cause a visceral reaction from criminals to commit more criminality. But in observable reality, that don't make sense. When you do a show of force, you get less criminality. And that's what my example highlights with the signage theory. Do you want to put this sign saying you have no guns in your house? And a criminal walk up and he had two houses to pick. The one with gun signs, the one with no gun signs. Who he's picking? Who house we picking? Who house is he picking? We all know 100 out of 100, he's going to pick the house that has no threat to his own physical safety or where the consequences isn't as dire. Criminals only respect force. And you only can believe in this, or we need more investments. We need more of this. If you never lived in a city or you never lived in a neighborhood that had like high rates of crime or moderate or, you never lived in the hood before. Because if you live in the hood, you know criminals only respect force. They don't respect nothing you talking about. None of this compassionate crap the Democrats love to push. They don't respect that. They only respect force. And Trump's showing you how it's done. 87% carjackings went down. And you don't want to duplicate that. You don't want to try to match that, Democrats. Come on, Democrats. At least give us something. But Democrats prove every day that they offer us nothing but political platitudes. Let me know your thoughts and perspectives in the comment section below. What do you think about Trump's results so far? And do you think that Democrats can kind of stop the bleeding if they cooperate with Donald Trump and show that they're not just a blindly anti-Trump party? Or is anti-Trump the only thing Democrats have to offer? I'd like to hear your thoughts and perspectives in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me on the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.